Hello, YouTube. This is Mickey D, back again with episode 84 of Stationeers. I believe, yes. Pretty much picking up right after the last episode. And I'm going to try to limit this episode to an hour, just because it's getting a little late. I've still got a cold. I got to get in bed at a decent time tonight. Hey, MacGyver. So I made some, I made like 200 cables. So there, plus our inventory. So we've got 200 cables, and we're gonna try to get those return vents separated out on a separate line, so that, which we've kind of already, if I remember correctly, down here. We started to wire up and then realized a few episodes ago that that had to be a separate circuit, since it's obviously using a batch writer and it's writing to both of those. Well, this one is. So we want this to go out onto a separate data circuit. It can be tied in with power on here, but we'll want that to go out. And I wonder if we can just throw a transformer on there to get that to separate out. Maybe not. No, because it's not going to be able to transfer the data through the other side. Well, we can have a transformer here and then tie in, because it can be on the same circuit, for the power. This is kind of like how we did for the vents. But before we do that, and while I was making the cables, I went ahead and put the decking out down here. Which, ooh, look how fancy decking. We'll probably have to finish the guardrail off around here at some point. And I have a feeling that, yep, we can't walk underneath these now. So we are definitely going to have to raise those up one, or we'll run it down through. But that's for later on. And yeah, lights are running. And you know what? Maybe we should put those on a daylight sensor, so that it kicks it off when the sun's up. But real quick, before we get into anything else, namely the vents, I want to get these lights hooked up, since we, kind of threw them in real quick. And that's not frames, sheets. There we go. So we'll do that real quick. And I want to put, I don't really want it over this locker, because we're not going to be able to see inside the locker. I mean, we do have a helmet light, but no, it would be nice that. There we go. If we could, since we do have the lighting out here, have it set up so we didn't have to. And I guess we'll probably just tie in right there. Yeah, we'll do a junction. Come down. And but this will only take a second, and then that way we'll have all the lights working out here. Because otherwise, we'll have this one oddball thing that needs to be done out here. And I don't mind taking care of stuff like this off camera, but since it's only going to take a second anyway, might as well just finish it off. And all right, there's one. Okay, there we go. And we'll have to see. I don't know. No, it's not really going to give us too much. Oh, not a junction. Yeah, so I have a feeling that this is probably going to take more than one episode. So we'll probably, well, not this, the vents. We'll probably pick this up again in the next episode. I don't know. It could go faster than I think it's going to, but hey, there we go. And they kind of do throw light down behind him a little bit too, which is kind of weird, but though not enough to get inside the locker. I guess it does a little bit, but yeah, that should light that all up, so that'll be good. And that's still running. Yeah, definitely we're gonna work on buffer circuits here at some point. And at some point, I might actually clad the whole entire outside of the base in steel walls, but that's probably mostly gonna be off camera. And that looks so weird, that blue glow behind there. All right, so let's see. This is the farthest one back. And we could go up through the ceiling is what I'm thinking. Inside the blocks, which is going to be kind of a pain. Because otherwise going to be working around like all this. We probably could come back here, run down, and then we'd have to jump over though. So I think it might be just worth it to just dig out a channel. We'll tie in on for that one. And come down through here and tie in on the data. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll put a transformer. We can tie in on the transformer and merge into the line where it connects in. So it'll get power on the same circuit and it'll get the data to batch right to those. Unless, and no, it's not going to separate it out. I was going to say, yeah, no, I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, all right. And let me see. So we get the one there. Oh, let's go this way since I get those doors closed. For no apparent reason, just to save power because the lights are on the shut the lights off. So this one, we don't have the other return on, which we don't need because these three actually are pretty strong, and we don't want this one on the regular depressurize, since if we're running the furnace, this whole system is separate from the rest of it. So that one we're not going to worry about, but we do have that's an output. So we have this one. And I don't think we have one in here because this one, for whatever reason, pulls in faster than that can actually output. Why? I don't know, but it does. And oh, look, somebody else died. I got dead people all over my base. And then we should have one more right there. So we can run that straight through to tie into over, yeah, right, pretty much there. All right, so we're going to start ripping open the wall of the ceiling. And then, though it would probably be intelligent to get the circuit finished first. Ah, no. We know we can get it, so. All right, and yeah, we're going to start on this side. So, which we're already going to run into. Well, no, we can curve around behind that. That'll work. And we are so going to use a ton of nitrogen doing this too. And yeah, we have a little bit of pipe to go around, which is very inconveniently placed. All right, and we might run this one just right up on the wall, actually, just because it's convenient. How many do we need to go down? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. right here. Yes. Actually, passive vent, active vent's right there. All right, and if we come down through, oh, well, I guess we could run the wire underneath the stairs. That's fine. Lights, thank you. Oh, we're stuck on the stairs. Oh, we're over too far. Okay, so we want to come over about right here. Hey, look, a yellow block. Ah, yeah, right here. This is the line. All right, let's drop that since we're dropping sheets everywhere. There we go. Let's actually drop it. Oh, really? Thank you. All right, and then we've got the one right here. And we don't need to open that up. All right, so this one, and then we've just got the one down on the other end of the wall. If I remember correctly, yes, there is a bend here. And we should be pretty close. Yeah, right there. All right, and that should be our, is that our active vent? Yes. Those do look nicer now that they changed that model on the back side when they're on the wall, which I guess is why they did it. But you think they would have got the one that didn't actually join up. And there was a little update, as I usually do. I restarted between episodes just to see if there was any updates. There was no notes on it, so I have no idea what they did. Must have not been anything too significant. Since there was no, they didn't specify anything. All right, so we came down here. We do need to go down there. That's good. Yes, down there, down there. We did not need this one open, though. We can go ahead and close that off. Yeah, I'd like to not leave a whole bunch of, extra ones open. So we came too far this way, so we can go ahead and close these off. And let's not burn that cable since that's our main line coming in from the solar panels. All right. And there. All right. And we'll close that one. Okay. And then this one we do need, oh, shit, we're stuck on that again. All right. So we need, let's see, we actually came too far. Right. That's our passive. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. Nope. Oh, yeah, it's in the middle. Okay. Yeah, then we can close that one up. All right. So, let us start running some cable. And then we should be all set to repressurize the base. All right, so we're going to want to here first. All right, so we're definitely not going to want that in. We're going to want that as straight cable now. Make sure, yeah, there's nothing there but a straight cable. Okay, and we're going to want a corner going back inside, so we actually are going to have to open that one up. Unfortunately, we can't get to it from the outside. Hey, Kelvin. All right. And look at the back side of all of our. They should have like made in Taiwan stamped on the back of them all, just for giggles. Of course my jetpack's low. I've been using it like crazy. Oh no, we don't want that there. We're going to come up straight first. Otherwise we're going to be right back where we started. And let's... Yeah, we should clear everything. That's yeah, we can just run it like that. We don't need to, everything's coming through anyway, so not really any point in running it any higher than that. I did do that too. I was trying not to grab 2 stacks at once because I knew that was going to screw up my inventory. No, you died like 10 minutes ago. So you've oozed out of the chair and are piled up on the floor now. All right. And it's lots and lots and lots of straight cable. Yes. I would say people could use the sleepers, but until we can actually get the temperature regulated for the sleepers, which might be something we'll look at one point. Maybe we'll just do a reserve tank for that. I don't know. I mean, ideally, once we have enough O2 and the bank is now that we've got that storage tank outside, we should not have an issue with it being too hot or too cold in the O2. Because then people could just go in the sleeper and they wouldn't die. But I'd actually probably have to make a whole room of sleepers at some point. Well, probably not a whole room, but, 4 or 5 or something. And we're going to go refill our jetpack. And the jetpack is not in either of those. Was there anything in those tanks? No. No. And then that's a CO2 tank anyway. So, should actually, have we actually got any, a little bit. Well, it is a big tank too, so. And I didn't put that tank back. There we go. All right. So, we'll get some wiring done. Except there's a pipe in our way. Oh, actually, we probably need to get a little bit closer. No, what I'm doing is, I'm setting up a different circuit for the other set of active vents. So it'll basically run through this, and then where we started to do this, and then I realized it wasn't going to work because it needed to be on a separate circuit. We're going to put a separate circuit in that's going to run to the returns. So then that way, when we flip this off, it'll turn the intakes, it'll shut off the outputs and turn on the intakes. So it'll depressurize the base. And so I've got to run a line to all the active vents. And then what we'll use is we'll use a transformer to supply them with power on the same circuit. And then pull off just the data. And then combine those two lines. All right, so now that we're up here, so we need to run off that way, down over that way, and then down over this way. Actually, we gotta branch off of that way too. All right, so, and there shouldn't be anything up on any of these, so we should be set to go. Yeah, some of these are gonna get a little funky, but we can do it. So we're gonna need a junction. Yeah, I might look into it at some point. And I don't know. I kind of liked it. I mean, we would still have to. Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe maybe if we ever have to redo the base, we might set it up that way. But then that way we can set it up that way from the start. And we're going to use so much wiring. Oh, autosave. Yeah, I think if I have to ever do the base over again, you know, if there is ever a time where we have to wipe the maps, or if it just gets to the point that we, you know, end up, or if we ever end up building bases on other planets. Though I think I would maybe build those more as outposts and not go crazy on them. We would have like one main base and then like this one, and then the rest of them can be like outposts. How do we want to run that? We're going to run it over to there. So, let's see. Disconnect that. And then that can be tied back in. Like so. Come on, turn the way I want. There we go. There. And up there. Oh, no, we need a straight. And there we go. All right. Yeah, no, we don't want to. Okay. So that one's done. Run this. Now we do got a tee off on here. Which side was that on? Actually, that's right there. Ooh. Oh, we run up around to that too. Interesting. So we need this circuit intact coming to this side. So probably what we will do then is, oh, that's going to be kind of a pain. We can run it up above. No, we don't want to do that. did run it down below. Yeah, so that should just loop around and come up over there. So what we'll do is we'll pull that off. We're not gonna. Can we get? Yes, we can get that corner there. Oh, actually, could have left that. And what we'll do is we'll come up on this side. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, I had it right there. And corner, corner, thank you. Corner, thank you. And a straight. All right, so that's tied up. And I'm going to put that back because I shouldn't have pulled that out. All right. Now we'll run this, I guess, just up above. Really? What are we? Just randomly, I guess the... And yeah, right there. All right. Yeah, so this shouldn't be too bad. I think we only got one more, two more. We get the one in the hallway. I think that's the last one. I feel like there's one more, though, that I'm forgetting about. Oh, you know what? There is. There's one in the basement. Which, at some point, I actually have to run a supply line down there. All right. And, oh, come on, really? Thank you. Yeah, we'll just kind of balance on the pipe for 10 seconds before we start sliding off. And come on. What do you bet we run out of, no, I think actually we might be all right. I think we need a straight there, yep. And then we're going to need a corner. All right. And there we go. All right, so that one's hooked up. We got that one. And that one. Where do I think that? No, that's an intake. Yeah. All right, so then we just need to run down here. And luckily the circuit's right there, so we can come... I think we can come right down through that wall. They go down into the basement. And at some point, we'll have to tee off of this anyway to go down to the circuit. Because I kind of just skipped over that. There. Well, this won't be too bad. We'll probably get this all... I don't know why I was thinking this was going to take longer. I guess I was thinking it was going to be more of a hassle to run all the wiring. But it's actually not turning out too bad. Now, if we tried to run it in the walls, that would have been an absolute pain. All right, what do we got down here? Well, a big pipe right in my face, and a pipe right above me. Okay, that should be the active vent. And of course. that off, pull that off, pull it off. Where does that run off to? Yeah, we can leave that. So what we're going to do is just come down. And basically pretty much just like what you just took out on the other one. There. And now we can do that. Let's see. So there's our line running there. I don't think... Oh, we could actually come up right there. No. Yes, we could come up there. I guess that's what we're going to have to do. Oh, straight. Thank you. All right. And yeah, we'll just come right back to here. And I didn't make that one higher. Nope. Guess we're good. All right. So that should be the last one. We'll leave this open until we're sure. All right. And I think what we're going to do is pull down through here. Yep, we can pull down right through there. And then we'll have, because we should have the circuit come out over here. Okay, so yeah, we will go up here, and yeah, right there, it's fine. And come on, one of these ones. One of these ways. Ah, right there. All right, we'll just turn on the jetpack. And then hopefully this will take care of... it'll let us depressurize faster. I still would like to get the filtration a little bit faster. I'm going to think about what I want to do with that, though. Honestly, I like the setup we had in the beginning. It's just, it was making such huge pressure differentials. You know, that it was making it kind of a pain because we have trouble walking through doorways and whatnot. Oh, come on. Come on. Still waiting for that crouch. And, oh, look at that. We are just going to make it on the cabling. That's how you burn through 200 cables. All right, so yeah, we're going to want that. And then we are going to want that selector, which did we already have that programmed? No, because I think we put them in there and then realized it wasn't going to work. So we'll have to hook those up, which is going to be easy enough. Junction, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do a junction. And we're not going to want to tie anything else into that. Which we could have not done that way, but it's all right, it works. We waste a little bit of cable there. Okay, so we'll stick a four-way. There. Okay. Now, batch writer. Let's see, data in, data out. Yes. We have, which side is it that doesn't? Okay, so it must be the top, which I'm assuming we already have a four-way there. Oh, no, it's a junction. Okay, so we need to change that to a four-way. Ah, very nice. And we'll change that to, very nice. Okay, so that we should have power. Yeah, you're not programmed. I know that thing. And now what we're going to want to do is probably right here would work. And we're going to go make one real quick, which would be a small transformer. I don't think we have any made. I'm going to see how many door jams I can run into. Small transformer. And small transformer. Thank you. Oh, really? Well, we have 500 iron in here. I think we can spare some out of there. Oh, and that's steel, isn't it? Yes. And small transformer. And there we go. All right, before we start losing stuff. All right. And we can turn that back off. All right, so we'll stick the transformer in there. And we shouldn't be able to set to oh. That'll still work. We're going to have to change some of that. Yes, data in. And that'll give us our power going to the circuit for there without sending any signals from that side. And then we'll have just this, so it'll be isolated out. But we need to change that, and we need to change that. Thankfully, we interconnected everything, so they still all ties together for the rest of the circuit. All right. Yeah, we should be all set to program it. What we should grab is the network analyzer and see how much power those are going to need when they're on. And while we're here, go ahead and grab those. All right. What we can do is, well, it doesn't really matter because the transformer is only going to output what they need anyway, which is obviously nothing right now because none of them are on. Oh, yes, we have those two. All right, so now let me see here. So what we want to do is when this switch is putting a 0 out, so we're gonna and to make this easier, let's disconnect that cable and we're gonna want one of those on. So when that switch is 0, then we're going to want, let's grab the labeler because we got 2 batch writers. And we're going to label this one. We are going to label this intake writer. And we're going to label this one output writer. Okay. So we're going to say when that switch is off, we want to do the output writer. Oh, that's very convenient. When the switch is on, we want to do the intake writer. And yeah, I cut all the wires, so there's no power. And when that switch is off, it's going to say use this. Which we're going to use the logic select, right? And we're going to say ooh, oh shoot. No, that should actually be, I'm going to double check and make sure it's reading the active ins on this side. Yeah, active ins transformer. Okay, yep. And it's going to output to on, since they're already set. Okay. Now on this one, oops, this one should already be set. So when, except we're going to change it to, well, actually, we might not actually, we could just ignore it. I mean, you know, realistically, we should set it to this. And the question is now, when that's on off, is that going to output an O? Because that would make that off. We might have to put a memory in there with a 1 in it, so it can output the 1. If we say selector off, oh, well, that actually might still, no. All right, well, we'll test it out and see. I mean, really, this should be that. If this is a selector, if this is set to 1, then it should be running the intake. You think this is going to output a 0? Yeah, I think it's going to output a 0. How did we do it on this side? The selectors always make me stop and think for a minute because I have not used them a lot yet. Where is it? Down here. Down. Yeah, down here. Yeah, because we used it on an override on this one, I believe. Because this one, oh, no. Yeah, look, and we got a green block down there. Multiple colored blocks. So, yeah, this one is using the switch. Yeah, this one is, if the switch is 0, then it's using the reader. if, oh yeah, so we could say if it's using the switch, if the switch is 0, then it would use, well, that's the reader, which is using, where did I put it? That's not here. Did I stick it? Oh, I stuck it behind this wall, didn't I? Yes. Yeah, the door reader, which is either going to give me a 0 or a 1. Oh no, that gave me a 1 too. Why did that give me a... Oh, because it's, it's this door. Yeah, so that gives me a 0. All right, so we got to set it up a way that it's going to give us a 1. And I need to put this steel sheet back in here. Probably the other steel sheets. And we'll just leave the floor up for now. All right, so. Hey, unexpected. Welcome back. So, all right, well, let's get this wired up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do have that incorrect. So we're going to need to change that. Yeah, because right now this is outputting a 0, which is giving us a 0 here. No, because this selector only outputs based on, oh, logic select. So what do we need to do is, if the switch is on, then we're going to let it put to here. Wait a minute, what's the logic reader reading? Okay, this logic reader is reading the switch, which is giving us a 0. The select unit is reading the switch. Why do we have a reader reading the switch? Oh, I don't think we need that. I think we added that in because that was going to be that was to switch the mode. So it was going to switch the vents over when we were running the digital valve. So yeah, we need to pull that back out. We don't need that back in there. So what we should be able to do then is we should, if I can grab the right tool here. All right, let's just pull that out. Just bypass it with a piece of wire for now. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is we'll probably end up putting a piece of memory in with a 1 in it. And then that way it would give us a 1. So, but for some reason that seems wrong as well. So we've got, let's see, we've got our output, which should be reading the, well, actually that one could just read the switch, because if it's off, it's going to shut those off. That's all we care about. And we could say if right, so output writer, active vents, switch on. So yeah, so if the switch is on, it's going to send out to those. That's fine. If the switch is off, it shuts those off. That's fine. So if the switch is off, then we need, so this will read the select unit. Yeah, so we'll stick a memory in there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Is that one will be on the switch, so that's on off, and then what we'll do is we'll put a piece of memory in, and if the switch is on, then this is going to output a 0. If the switch is on or off, then it's going to read from the memory and give us a 1. So, yeah. And then what we'll need to do is, I guess we'll just stick it. Now we've got this extra. We don't really need, we put, no, we need it in. And I guess we'll just stick it right there. Back to none. What, on this one? Select 0. Well, then we can, if this is 0, yeah, because then what are we going to do when we flip the, we should probably get the base sealed back up before we test this, because we're going to pump all of our oxygen outside. Select switch. Yeah, selector is going to be the switch. The switch is 0. Then we're going to have it output the memory. If the switch is 1, no, this is the selector switch is reading the switch. So this is reading the switch. So that is basically reading this, and then it's going to say if the switch is off, then this. If the switch is on, then this. Which was going to go to the intake writer, which we could still do. I mean, but it doesn't really need to. But we might actually do another memory with 0, because we're going to need a too bad you couldn't just reverse it. Because we could say, yeah, because we don't want to say if switch is on, yeah, then we're going to say 0. Yeah, so we'll need another memory, which we'll just stick right there. And I can't put that in that slot. Hey, Fuzzy. All right, so we're going to want a junction here. And then we're going to want, we're going to need more cable, which is not, there we go. All right. So give me the writer. And we're going to say that this is 0. And we're going to say this is 1. All right. And now we're going to set this to 1, and we're going to leave that set to 0. So if this switch is on 0, then it's going to output 1. If this switch is on, then it's going to output 0. So basically it's going to reverse it. So see, switch is off, it just kicked those on. So now we do that, it's going to try to pump out air, which we don't want it to do. And then as soon as we shut it off, yeah, so that way it'll reverse it. And I'm going to cough. Hang on one second. All right. So that will work. Yeah, because this is basically an OR statement. It's basically saying this, if this, well, it's an if and then, I guess. So if this is 0, then this. If this is 1, then this. So let's just kind of do whatever we want to do in any kind of way, I guess. It would really be nice if we got some like you know, actual like and or and all right. So now we just got button everything up, which means we do lots of welding. And I guess we can throw our airlock gate back on. And that'll be very nice now. Hopefully this should let us be able to rapidly depressurize the base, which we know it does. I mean, we know that it's just I was having to flip it on manually. Oh, and we still have, oh, shoot. Do you see that cable? It jumped out right in front of me. Let's put the hot welder back in my pocket. And nothing could go wrong. It's surprising it does not catch you on fire. You know, because spring-loaded switches, those are difficult. That and crouching, obviously, is, you know, that's advanced technology right there. Okay. I should grind down those colored ones while well, no, because we don't have any extra other frames on us either. At one point, I will go through and get rid of all those colored blocks, because that is kind of highly annoying when you're... I guess the ones I can't see don't really matter that much, but the ones I can see, they do kind of bother me. But we got higher priorities right now. We got other things to do. Speaking of things to do, I think the next thing we're going to work on, well, as long as the filtration is all resolved and can keep up, you know, the standard regular filtration, I think what we're going to work on next is, oh, actually, we do got to run we got to run an oxygen line down there too. So we might do that next, which probably won't take very long. So probably, I guess, a few odds and ends to take care of. And then I guess what I'm trying to get to is the next big thing we're going to work on is probably redoing the furnace room and maybe doing some automation in there. Because I think our filtration's all done, though we still do got to put some consoles and stuff in. But the filtration's all done. This should take care of our venting system. The greenhouse is all set. Yeah, this one yellow block. Yes, yes. So it'll be the point that we'll all be like, oh yeah, they added that after you burst into flames. Okay, and why do I have a feeling that we're going to be short? Well, no, I guess this is it. I was going to say, I would not be surprised if we're short like 3 blocks or 3 cables. Not cables, plates. 1, 2, 3. Well, no. Can we? Very nice. Yep. I think I have the wall section ones somewhere else. I'm going to assume I do. Okay. Very nice. Now that we sealed everything up, we should go rock around and make sure they're all working. Because, you know, it's not like we could have done that beforehand. They do. They jump right out in front of me. Okay, so that one's running. That one's running. We should have the one over here, which should be running. Yes. We should have the one over here that should be running. Yes. There's not one in here. Oh, you should not be running. You should definitely not be running. You're pumping all of our air out into space. Okay, why are you running? Don't tell me that that one's hooked up on the wiring wrong. Could be. It could be wired up on there. Okay, we'll close that door so we don't lose our air. Which hopefully we didn't lose too much of it. I need to go mining for it anyway. Okay, and then this one. That one's gonna be a pain. I mean, it's right up there, but I don't know. I guess I'll bring this wire over, but then that messes up my wiring. Because, you know, I was trying to keep it nice, so if I need to put another circuit in, we could do that. Because as it was, I was going to have to move all these. I guess we could, yeah, maybe we'll bend that through the wall or back down, and then that can come down low. Oh, actually, yeah, we can just spin up, and then that can go down and back and behind. All right, that'll work. That's not too bad. But yes, we got to get that one hooked up as well. Yeah, and then these ones should not be on that circuit, so they'll not be running. Which, let's put this floor back down while we're here real quick. And then I'm going to go find... All right. So very nice. All back together. Did we have that? Okay. The problem is I forget, and I might put this on a motion sensor, which I was originally thinking about doing, because I forget that I have that turned on, and then I just go out, and then the light just ends up being on, which kind of makes the whole switch pointless. And I'm going to go ahead and close all these doors, since I did kind of accidentally have that be pressurizing. And that way we won't lose anything anymore. Hopefully. How much oxygen do we have? 1.83, which I forget what we were up to before. I think that seems about right. That seems a little bit lower. I think that was up a little bit higher. And why are we losing pressure in that? That tells me there's a vent running somewhere. Yeah, if we're losing pressure in that, there's something outputting. Oh, you know what? I bet it's the one in the mechanical room. I don't think I looked on that one. Anyway, easy way to fix it is, and let's do this from the inside. Well, just to make sure we don't lose any atmosphere. Because that is the only thing that is where we're going to be leaking from right now. So interior, exterior, yes, okay, Very nice. Cancel depressurize. Cycle to interior and cancel pressure. Since we basically have none. And hopefully we don't have the weird leak thing going on again, because we lost enough to the first time. So if we come out here, I have a feeling that, and of course this door is open. Yes. So these two are on the same circuit, which is what made me think that it was going to be that one. Well, they pass through on either side. All right, so we should start reclaiming the oxygen again. So if we flip this on, okay, there's our pressurization. If we flip them off, then yes, those are on the wrong circuit. So somehow that got crossed over, which I think it comes from this side. So it's either from there or from here. Though I don't... Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, it does it for... Some of these blow out a ton. All right, let's check on the other one. I think it's... yeah. Yeah, I think it's coming from the other side. All right, so let's rip into this. Ah, yep, it's probably that one right there. Yep, runs over right into there. So this... That one's there. All right, so what we want to do then is corner to there, to there, and a straight, 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 corner there, there, there we go. That should straighten it out. And junction there. All right. So now, if we cycle it, flip them on, flip them off. And they're not on. Very nice. And we'll just go double check, but it should be the same. And we definitely got to add another battery in. And oh yeah, we can do that. We have the yep, and not on. So that can drain out. And there we go. Ah, now I gotta look at a wire again. The output is off. As long as we flip the switch, then it's going to it'll recycle the circuit. So that way it is now just has the intakes on and the outputs are off. Because you remember, the circuit doesn't continuously send. It only sends on input or a state change. And why did we put the 3 panels back? It must have. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the only one we have left is the one downstairs, which I'm not actually too worried about because honestly, half the time I don't pressurize that room. Since there is actually no there is no output in there, which maybe at some point I will put an output in there. Yeah, but we're at an hour and 12 minutes and probably call it good for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and let it pull in anything. And I noticed too, I never set up the circuit for the lights in here. Yeah, actually, I'm going to close that. So I'm going to let it, well, I'm not going to pressurize the base just yet because I want it to drain everything out. So we're at 0 kPa completely to get rid of any of the pollutants because we had quite a high carbon dioxide mixture from basically being open to Mars. Look at that. We used 170 cables. Yeah. But that's nice. So that should give us our vent system. We should have our filtration system. And then we have our output system. So that should keep everything hopefully running smoothly and then, with control. I do want to check and see. Can we read on? Yeah, we can't read on the actual transformers themselves. That would make too much sense. So if we read on this, so we actually only need 400 watts on there. So I'm guessing they're 100 watts each. So if we set it to 500, then when we add the one down below, we don't have to mess with it. And it doesn't really matter because they only draw as much power as it's actually using. So if it's actually, requires 400, and if you have this set to 1200, it's still only going to output 400. It just basically acts as a limit. I just like to set them for whatever they actually need. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It'll just make the power brown out on that line until you up it. Yes, I put all the oxide in the system. So we actually had 1.9 in there. And then I believe this should be full because the mixer shut off. And then this is set to basically pressurize up to like 2. And then we're actually draining out where we kind of pressurize this. So yeah, there's still a little bit in there, which I should just open it up because that does, actually, I might have turned that down. I did turn it down. Because when this was set up, it was actually it was draining faster than what that could pull in as. But we have the base sealed back up now, so there's not a reason to not have the doors open again. Besides, saving the power from not having the lights on. But this is pretty much almost drained out. Now, we could take this a step farther, and we could put another selector in here, and have it say that if the base pressure is less than 2 kPa, because I think the Martian atmosphere is like 2, or right around there, 1 point something, 2 kPa. We could have it shut these intakes off, and then that way it's not drawing 500 watts for no reason. We also do got to get these heaters set up on the separate circuit so they don't stop running or keep running, which that is a separate circuit. So ooh. You know what? I think maybe next episode, which I kind of looked at this and then it wasn't going to work, and I don't remember why, but so I'd rather not have to replicate this whole entire circuit again for those 5 heaters in that big room. So, and we were going to do this, and then it didn't work because it was tying back in, but we do have, I think it's this one. I think this was the new circuit for the, no, that's a tool manufacturer, wall heater, wall heater, wall heater, batch writer logic. Okay, so this is basically our cheap version of our simple version of this, without the pressure overrides and whatnot, and the cooling. I'd like to get this on with this. So what we could probably do, and what I was trying to do before, and where we're running into problems, which is probably data. So my thought was using a small transformer to isolate it, which obviously we have a small transformer here, so we could pull the data in, but that's not going to work because we can send power and data and then just send power, but we can't send data. We can't pass data and power through and just send data. Because the problem with these is we need, so this data would have to run over to there, but because it's tied in to send data, well, actually, is it sending data? Yeah, because it's turning these on. Oh, I know what my thought was. So instead of having these turn the wall heaters on, my thought was to have it turn the transformers on. So well, we'd have to do a heavy line, but you could run a heavy line to it, and we could turn the transformers on, and then we could basically just leave the wall heaters on, and it would just turn the transformer off, which is going to shut off the wall heater. I think the problem with that, which would probably, that would probably work, because we'd have to have a separate, so basically this circuit, instead of being on with the wall heaters, would be a separate circuit that runs 2 transformers that feeds into the circuit that the wall heaters are on. And then basically it would feed into the one transformer for this circuit, and then it would feed into the one transformer for that circuit. And since the transformers, it's going to isolate the power and data on one side, then we can feed to multiple, and then you can have your heating and cooling on run off of one circuit, but it would, kick them on and off. Now the only problem, okay, so the only problem with that would be then that that's not going to work. No, it's not going to work because the cooling is on with it as well. If it was just the heating, then we'd have to isolate the cooling circuit and isolate the heating circuit, which means we would have to run a whole nother circuit again, which the heating is on by itself anyway. Actually, do we have the cooling on the same circuit? Yeah, the cooling's got to be on the same circuit. It's just that they don't run at the same time, so it doesn't overload it. Yeah. Yeah, they do. I mean, they need something like, like a transformer, but it's going to let you send in data or input power in data and then only output data. So basically, like kind of reverse of what the transformer does, where the transformer, you can input data and power, but you're only getting power out. And I mean, really, that data input is just to control the transformer itself. So it's just basically not letting a network signal travel past the transformer itself. I'm still thinking there should be a way. I mean, yeah, we can do it with the two transformers. And just, this would not tie in. Write 1 or 0 to memory and then read it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that might work. Yeah, because it's not going to transfer any power over the memory, because that's a data only. That might be an option. Because what we could do is, instead of having this circuit, we could just have a reader and a writer. And then what we'd have to do is, if this is on, it writes a 1 to the memory, or if it's off, then it writes a 0. And then that can read it. And that way it would still be controlled by that circuit, but it would be basically like its own sub-circuit. The wall heaters are spread out onto 2 circuits. And that's the issue. So there's wall heaters on this circuit, which is the base. And then there's wall heaters on this circuit, which is the filtration room, basically, because the room's so big. We need multiple ones. Yeah. And the wall coolers are on here. All the wall coolers on the base are on this circuit, because they draw so little power that we haven't maxed that out. It's just the wall heaters that are broken up. So there's 4 on this circuit, and there's 4 on this circuit for the wall heaters. Yeah, so, but I kind of like the idea of, I mean, I think if we wired up the base again, then I think I would just keep the coolers and the wall heaters separate. And then we could just do the whole transformer system. That way, as we added more, because that way if we wanted to, we could have like 5 in each room. Because if the only thing that's on that circuit is the wall heaters, then we can run 5 at the same time without burning it up. I mean, that would be the only way, is if you had transformer and wall heaters, and that's it. Is this depressurized now? Yeah, looks like it. And what are we at for? Oh, 556. Why does our pressure... Oh, because it's equalizing with what it was over. 1.1 kPa. Oh, was it still bleeding out from here? Yeah. Yeah, it's still bleeding out from here. Yeah, I'm really hoping they do get the whole atmospheric. Um, you know, kind of equalization, update speed, kind of, you know, boost it up there quite a bit. As long as we're not. Yeah, it's dropping, so we're not leaking atmosphere. Yeah, so we actually have 85%, 15. So yeah, we'll let this idle for a bit longer. All right, well, we're going to call this episode good. We're hitting an hour and a half, which is a little bit longer than I was planning. But at least we pretty much got everything separated out. Like I said, we still got to do that one downstairs. And maybe at the same time, we'll look at trying to integrate the wall heaters together and how we can. I mean, this one is just wall heaters. There's nothing else, I believe, on this circuit except for the wall heaters because we ran it specifically for that. So these coolers are on with the other circuit. And if we really wanted to, we could just kind of do the exact same thing we just did with the outputs and put the wall heaters on their own, which is even easier because we can put those anywhere. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, because there's no plumbing running to them or anything. So, you know, stick them over here and just run a line straight down and stick one on that side or whatever. Or run them all down the, you know, we could basically just do a line of them down this wall and a line down that wall. I do kind of like having them spread out, especially when it's this big, because knowing the way the game probably works with everything else is, you know, it's heating this space up and then it's slowly, you know, the thermodynamics are pulling it through because the airflow and whatnot does affect that as well. Which means it would actually make sense to have these next to these so it carries the heat with the airflow. But yeah. And at some point, I gotta see if I can hook that back up without having it explode. But since our fuel tank's been fine and our welder, then I'm not worrying about it just yet. And real quick, what are we at? We were at 4.6, so 3.8. Yeah, so we're definitely, the greenhouse is definitely still sucking out all of our CO2, and we are getting O2 production from that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Yep, so we're at 2.44 now. So we are getting, but we are pulling it. We're using it faster than we're generating it from here or anywhere else. But anyway, so at some point we will have to maybe either add another filter in, which we could always stick one in, you know, in front of. We'll have to mess with piping and stuff, or we just do the whole passive intake or active intake. I don't know. We'll see, because we could try doing more passive vents on the outside to increase the flow. But yes, without increasing the power draw. All right. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. At least we finally got the vents, you know, separated out. And, you know, I'm going to keep letting the base depressurize until the whole thing is completely down to zero, which will still take it a while. We can get all the contaminants out. I'll let the base repressurize, see how high we get up to. We'll probably still need to do some more oxide and maybe some ice if we're lucky. And we'll see. Oh, I didn't check. Is this on? And now I can't remember, since we did this so long, is which one of these is on and which one of these is off. Okay, so one, so it should be in vacuum on that side. Yes, because obviously it's cooling. Yes, of course it is vacuum. Yeah, I still want to hook a light up to that. so that when we flip it, when we close it, it flashes. That way we know that it's pressure. Well, not pressurized, but it's not going to vent if we open it up. Because that's the last thing we do is want to vent out the whole base. Yeah, so we'll let the whole base depressurize probably before I start up the next episode, and we'll pressurize it, see how high we get for pressure, and then I want to see how well the filtration keeps up with running these, and if we need to do anything else to that system, um, to see, because it seemed like that did increase the airflow. Just not sure if it's increased it enough. I mean, we didn't. This one, I don't know. There's a weird, and there's been other reports of it too. Is the flow is not the same on all of these. So even if you have this and you have a vent, a pump, like this one pumps in faster than that vent can output. Don't know why. It just does. But this one will not. So this one will pressurize up. This one, it'll slowly depressurize the room. So that's why I had it decreased. But I don't know exactly where I need to keep it at yet. So I'm going to do some more testing with that. But makes it very hard to get everything depressurized. I mean, it's great that the active vents shut off when they hit 101. You can get everything pressurized up. But man, like, and if you depressurize, the active vents suck in air like as fast as they can. I mean, they do great at depressurizing, but they really need to work on some way to have your, circulating your air, that you're not either getting so much of a draft that you can't walk through, I don't know. I mean, I liked when we had the one filter just sitting in the room with the, just reversed. So it was oxygen, nitrogen, and it was basically that was your waste that it was re-outputting and then collecting everything else. I mean, that worked pretty fast. I mean, that was working faster than like all these are. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see. I haven't messed with that. Um, yeah, I mean, it's more of an issue of not of it. This just runs slow. If we have these set up, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to like try putting like 6 on or something. Um, but you would seem that if these are running, you'd be pulling in a decent amount on there. You know, but and if we have this, it runs great. But the problem is we get such huge pressure differentials. If you have an input on one side of the wall and an output on the other side, because obviously you don't want to just keep recirculating, then, I don't know. I mean, we could try keeping the input and the output in one room, because technically the filters only kind of like pull, what you want. You talking about the, like if it's in drop mode? That is an option. The problem is that, which it would not be as much of a problem now, because the problem with using the air circuit is, the air control is you have to have 2 different circuits, because it will turn all the vents to intakes or all the vents to outputs depending on what it's doing. If you set one set to input and one set to output, whenever it makes a change, it'll set them all the same. And that was what I originally had set up. And then I was like, well, this doesn't work, because it was basically sucking air in through all the vents, which meant it was sucking our air into, it was using our outputs as intakes when it was, you know, um, when it was intaking. Um, So, but now that we've set these up on a separate circuit, then yes, we could put the air control on um, with this and have it set to drop mode uh, because, no. Well, yes, we could. We could have it flip it on when this switch is on, and then that will probably override the circuit, I'm guessing. Maybe. I don't know. We'll look into that. But now that is a good point that now that these are on separate circuits, that might work. And honestly, we could have two of those set up. One that's tied into this circuit, so it will pressurize the base and keep it pressurized. And then we could have the other one set up to be, the drop mode basically, because then this one would be trying to fill it, and then that one would be trying to, let it come out. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of my initial thoughts on it, but but either way, these are going to try when the base is pressurized. These are going to try to maintain 101 anyway. But yeah, drop mode. If we can get the drop mode to work, then that might fix the issues right there. But all right, well, I think before we go and get off on another tangent, that we'll call this good for this episode. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Got some progress made on the last 2 episodes, so very nice. Obviously, still some more things to work on, but it's nice to see some of the systems finally kind of coming together a little bit. More, I don't know, cohesively, cohesively. Where we're getting some more integration and some more automation going, which, I mean, we do have quite a bit of it, but there's been a few areas where obviously the whole filtration, venting, pressurization, pressurization's been fine, but, other aspects of it need work. But yeah, it's definitely getting there. And we do have a street light. So, that was cool because we have a street light, which I can't see from out here, which, you know what? I might just have to make a window just so we can see the street light. But, yes. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I will probably do a stream or 2 tomorrow. And I might, I'll probably do a stream of Hellion as well tomorrow. At least one of Stationeers and one of Hellion. Maybe, 2 of one of the other, or 2 of both. Who knows? We'll see. But I do want to do another Hellion stream as well. But we do got stuff to do in here too. So, all right. Have a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in the next stream.